Kendrick, we're starting with Shannon.
Ooh, let's get into
starting
it.
With Shannon. Okay, that news, that headline, it was a very intense feeling I had.
It was a lot, right?
Right? It wasn't just, I don't know, it hit me so intensely. Like there were like layers underneath it.
Like I was working, I feel like I just started out like it was still, you know, that transitional period when you're in the bed first working and then you finally make your way to the desk. So it was like during that time, and I finally got up there and I was doing something that like I needed to focus on. I was like, okay, let me focus on this. And then of course, like 10 minutes later, I'm like, what's going on Instagram?
Always.
So I get on Instagram and that's the Bravo While Black's post was the first thing that I saw.
With that location.
Oh my God.
In case you guys missed it, Bravo While Black posted the headline and the location was the ghetto.
So dumb. And so I was like, what is happening?
I cannot with that headline. It's like, so it's much. It's the picture they used was for some reason very good too. I don't know why. It's just a picture of Watch What Happens Live, but it like affected me. Arrested. So you're like, I'm sorry for DUI, hit and run, struck house in Newport Beach.
Reading that article and it said, clipped the house. Then
she drives off, parks her car in the middle of the street, and gets out with her dog.
That is wild. That
it's the dog part. So Jeff Lewis on his show discussed it. I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but he discusses that they spoke, Shannon and him spoke, and she's so shook up, and he's shocked because she doesn't ever drive. She's always an Uber person. Mm-hmm. So she took the dog in her car. Something tells me she got in a fight with John. And she's like,
are they back together or what?
Clearly, right? Because Jeff said he had been out with her on Friday and John was there. And yeah.
God.
Because if she's not one to drive and it was, you know, an Uber situation, it's like she must have been at home, gotten mad at John, said, I'm leaving, taking Archie with me.
Girl.
It's the dog being in the car that really affects me.
Yeah. I know your timeline is all dogs, so I know you just like...
I know.
all that positivity, then you see someone harming a dog, like with Shannon. So
I'm like, was the dog scared? Like, was that poor dog in the car, like, freaking out? Oh, I hate it. I hate it. And then Shannon's all wasted, like, trying to tell the cops, I'm just walking my dog.
Right. Okay, let me just... This is not a funny situation, but I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that someone posted cracked me up because it was the girl whose boyfriend's house got, like... clipped, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so the first sentence, she said, hashtag Shannon Beador hit my boyfriend's house and drove off. I'm like, what a wild thing to walk out of your house and see. Like, could you imagine you live in an area where this could possibly happen to you. So like you out there, could you imagine like walking outside your door and you're like, fucking Kyle Richards and Morgan.
Don't make me wish for things like that.
Could you imagine walking out? You're like, what the fuck are Kyle and Morgan doing here? What happened to my mailbox? What is going on? And then they just drive off and don't say anything? And you got to hear from Mauricio that this happened? Like, what is happening?
Oh, my God.
It's too much.
Like, the fact that she knew who Shannon Beador was, though, also makes me happy. Like, it wasn't just like some lady. It was like, Shannon Beador.
Right.
Just ran into my boyfriend's house.
I can't imagine. Like, I'm trying to think. I live in Memphis, so I'm trying to think, like, how would this... what is my version of this story? Like, all I can think about is, like, okay, like, maybe, like, Glorilla, like, drove into my mailbox, or Yo Gotti, like, K. Michelle, like, what? I don't even know. Like, who would drive into my... What is happening?
I'm so bummed out that we're not going to get a mugshot or the body cam footage.
That pisses me off, honestly. Like, why is there no mugshot?
like, we're not going to get to see Shannon talking to the officer, like, all hectic, like, I was just walking my dog, and, like, with her Barbie hands getting arrested, you know?
Oh, my gosh. I know if a cop had stopped her, like, there and, like, had to listen to her, she would have... Can you imagine the story she would have get?
I'm telling you.
I know. My boyfriend, we've been going through a really tough time. And
we have very normal relationship problems.
I couldn't drive the car because I was paralyzed. It paralyzes me when we fight. Like, good Lord, Shannon. Okay. You know what? Just go in the house. It's all right.
I just am so pissed off we're not going to see that. Like, that is that's the crime here. No one was hurt, so I can make jokes. But if anyone was hurt, that's the scary thing is, like, a kid could have been standing there. That's always what's so scary about these instances. Like, it had to have been some sort of drama with John, because I don't picture Shannon being a drinker and driver.
Right.
But we don't really see Shannon at, like, her worst. There's always all these wild stories about Shannon. Like get to the reunions and they're like, when Vicky was alleging that David was abusive because Shannon had the story of when they got into a fight, he locked himself in the room. I tried to break down the door. So as you can see here, I was not afraid to show off my bruises. And here I'm like, so hold on, let's back up here. The cops were called. Like, this isn't just happening once in a while. So Shannon clearly gets wild.
Yes.
Wild. And it's possible that Jeff is trying to just protect her.
First of all, okay. That's another aspect of the story that pisses me off. Because had it been any other Bravo celebrity, Jeff, and the nasty human being that he is, would have destroyed them. But Shannon gets the most grace of anybody in the world. It's like, okay, I know y'all are friends, but wow. Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And did you see that Shannon was on a conference call with Tamra yesterday?
Yes.
For at least an hour and didn't say one word, which to me, that says a lot about her trust in Tamra.
Yeah. Honestly, smart.
You know?
Because she absolutely would have broken the story on she would maybe not broken it, but she definitely would have been like, there's some crazy news coming out of Orange County. I can't tell you guys what, but it'll break within the next few days, and it's a rough time for me. I'm hoping that she would have brought it back to herself.
Which she did with that clip. She's crying.
Yeah.
I'm shaking, everyone. I'm like, what?
Why?
Yeah, no, you're not to be trusted. We're all watching this season, Tamra.
Oh,
much as it's good mess, it's like no one should trust you with any information.
No.
So Shannon, I personally don't love the title or the label alcoholic. I think that's a very scary label for people, and I don't know if it helps anyone unless they're willing to say that about themselves.
Right.
And an alcoholic is different than maybe, let's say, a problem drinker. And I think that's where Shannon's been bordering for quite some time. You know what I mean? So and that's why Jeff made sure to say she's not an alcoholic. I'm like, I know, but she's still a problem drinker. Like, we can acknowledge
it needs to be addressed.
Yes. Yeah. Like, we can't keep enabling this over and over again. She's been super careful about getting really drunk on camera. And also, she wasn't going through that really contentious divorce anymore this past season. So she would just get drunk, but like do normal Shannon stuff, like normal crying and whatnot. It's not like the Jamaica trip where she just like malfunctioned.
Jesus Christ.
That was, her whole face looked different. Like she just kept drinking the whole trip. So it was dark. But the fact that she's back with John Jansen makes me annoyed anyway, because I'm like, we have come so far.
God, you know what? As a selfish Bravo viewer, I hate that we didn't. Oh, this is so bad to say. I hate this didn't happen before the reunion because I feel like Gina deserved her moment to say, "Bitch, how dare you? Like, how dare you keep throwing this back in my face when this is what you're doing in your free time?" Like, Gina is better than me because I would have been online like, "Y'all see this? Y'all see this, right? Y'all see, let me repost it one more time. Y'all see this, right? Y'all see what's going on? Like, okay. Like, I can't, because that was audacity. And the fact that Shannon was lying about saying, I never mentioned Child Protective Service. I never said any of this stuff. And then, like, the editors are like, you sure?
You sure did.
Let's roll that back. Yeah. Every time.
Yeah, it's not only did Shannon like have a bad season because she was trying to cover up her weird relationship with John, but they have all these compilations of Shannon bringing up Gina's DUI. When that should never come from, like, if I help a friend out with getting through a DUI, I wouldn't volunteer that information. Like when Shannon tells Heather, like, and she got a DUI, I'm like, whoa. That is not my story. That's not your story to tell. That's Gina's story to tell. And so the fact that there's all these moments where they've pieced together her being like, oh yeah, that DUI, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Shannon, but it's real hard not to relish in this a little bit.
Yeah. All of that.
And I just can't wait to hear her. I know she's going to make up a bullshit excuse.
And it can't be anything other than like what Gina said.
John and I we were having a conversation. We had gone out to dinner. We got in a fight and he was going to leave. And I said, I'm going to leave. I'm leaving. And so I did what I shouldn't have done. And I got in the car and I drove the car and I shouldn't have done that. And I took Archie.
Oh God, your Barbie hands.
That's how you know I'm doing Shannon. It's just when the fingers don't.
I love the inflection every time she does. Well, what am I gonna do? I don't know. I'm just like, okay, whoa. Let's take it down a notch.
Yeah. So there will be no answering for this until next season when they're going to pick those cameras up and Gina's going to be like, well.
Let me say one thing right now. We better, and I mean we better, if they bring up, because they're going to talk about the Child Protective Service and stuff at this thing. When Shannon gets on her high horse to say all of that, they better do a Robin Dixon moment. And they better be like adding in these clips and all like that. Don't just keep it to Potomac. Bring it over here to Orange County, baby. Put it in there, okay?
Agreed. Okay.
We need it all.
That's facts, actually. That's facts.
Because we got some weeks. Y'all can still do some. Y'all are still editing the reunion.
Yeah.
So,
you got weeks. No, weeks.
You got time.
You have time. I want to make sure we get that in there. Let's even get a camera over at Shannon's house right now. Let's get even a FaceTime call. I don't know, but I need something. I need a producer to make contact, and I need her to go on camera and discuss. Because then they could put that in the reunion.
Yeah. I need something.
I need something too, just because it's too poetic.
Right.
For me to have to wait all to next season to get any kind of closure or whatever I want. You know.
Hoocha.
How could you do this to me? Question mark.
I've become a little obsessed with my oral care, my oral health and hygiene. My dad smoked for years and his teeth are falling out of his head left and right, and that will not be me. So along came Quip at just the right time. Quip makes it easy. They deliver all the oral care essentials you need to care for your mouth, like this electric toothbrush. There's timed sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to guide what a dentist would recommend as the perfect 2-minute clean. It's really lightweight too. There's no bulky cords and wires and chargers to weigh you down. It comes with a multi-use travel cover that doubles as a mirror mount for less clutter. Skip the batteries and snap into healthy habits with the new rechargeable electric toothbrush. All the features of the original Quip plus 1 magnetic charge powers up to 3 months of brushing. The Quip electric toothbrush is loved by over 9 million mouths. You can upgrade your Quip with a smart motor too, so you can track and improve your brushing with the free Quick app. You can earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and more. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum refills every 3 months from $7. With stylish and affordable electric brushes starting at just $25, you won't be paying through the teeth for better oral health. Another really great feature is these sonic vibrations are super sensitive. So you got to be gentle on your, you have to be gentle on your gums. People brush too hard and some electric toothbrushes are too abrasive, not Quip. The built-in 2-minute timer pulses every 30 seconds to remind you when to switch sides, and it helps to clean your whole mouth evenly. Up to 90% of us don't brush for a full 2 minutes or don't clean evenly. And how's this for some credibility? Quip is one of the first electric toothbrushes accepted by the American Dental Association. They're backed by over tens of thousands of dental professionals, and they have over 25,000 verified 5-star reviews. If you go to getquip.com/bravo right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, or water flosser. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, or water flosser at getquip.com/bravo, spelled GETQUIP.com/bravo. Quip, the good habits company.
Not well, bitch.
All right, well, that's that, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into RHONY.
Okay. Good episode.
Good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. You know what's good about this cast? They don't really have like crazy storylines, each of them. It's just how they interact with each other.
Yes.
And that to me is all I need. I don't need people to come in with storylines. I don't. I really, really don't. If you promise to be in scene and give me gold, we're good.
But you also notice, like, I feel like it's so stupid to say, but like we've strayed so far from God on these other franchises.
For like, real.
Like this one is showing us, I don't care what everyone else has going on. We have so many group scenes in every episode that all that matters is the group dynamic. We've seen nothing about Bren's home life. But yet we still like Bren because we're seeing how she's interacting with the cast, or whether you dislike her or like, it doesn't matter. Like we're having an opinion about her because we can, because of how she interacts with the other 5 women. And that's what we need. All these other shows, it's like they tell them in the beginning, okay, what's your storyline? Are you trying to get pregnant? Are you trying to get married? Are you trying to do this and that? We need to know what we're going to focus on. Are you going to have an event? Which trip are you planning? Are you doing? And it's also like, I know like producers have their job, but it's gotten to the point where it's so unlike the show we fell in love with that we just need to, this is so refreshing. We just need to get back to this at some point.
Exactly. It's an ensemble for a reason, which is why a lot of the time those little special spin-offs where it's like Tamra's getting married or Candy's doing or married too, I don't know. Right. They don't always work so well because it's what makes these people good is how they interact with other crazy strong women.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Erin, though,
I
don't like her. I just don't.
I literally just put out an episode and we were talking about how necessary of an evil she is.
Yes, she is.
How we do. We were saying at that moment, like, oh my God, you know, she really like stirs the pot and she keeps the mess going and all like that. You know, I love someone that keeps the mess going. And then right after I edited that episode and scheduled it to upload for the next day, I watched this episode and I'm like, oh,
never mind.
Yeah, you can go the hell away.
Yeah.
A lot of this was a lot.
First of all, she's doing jumping jacks and Bryn brings her celery juice.
Girl. Not my kind of vacation. I don't know.
You know, like, oh God. And remember, guys, there's a camera crew there. So she's just like in front of them like, doing her little jumping jacks. Gosh. But then Erin gives Bryn the breakdown of what happened at the dinner the night before. She says that Jessel wants to have the same story as Bryn and Sai and Uba. And I'm like, I don't really know when she said that she has the same story as them.
We got done a disservice because they kept doing that like fast forwarding thing, like to like go through her like telling the story. And I'm like, it didn't sound like to me either. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
Someone on Instagram said that they're in an earlier episode, Jessel had said something to either Sai or to Bryn saying, no, I was like you. And then but I don't think that she had heard the full capacity of either of their stories yet.
Right.
I think what she's trying to get at, because Aaron accused her of being like taken pampered to and taken care of and catered to. And she's like, that is not even my life at all.
Right.
Right. And so that's all she's saying. But Aaron is putting it inside. They're both like putting it on her that she's trying to like out trauma Sai and Brynn.
God.
But that's not what she's doing, in my opinion.
People in these trauma Olympics, I'll never get it.
Yeah, for real.
Like, why are we all so happy that like we had to struggle? Like, I thought the whole point of like what we're all saying in 2023 is that we want to get to a place where we can like not have our kid. I don't want no damn kids, but not have our kids like struggle to come up, and like we want to give them the best life and the best education, and we want to build generational wealth and all this stuff. And then it feels like every time we get it, Candace on Potomac is a perfect example.
She said it perfectly, didn't she?
Yeah, she's one of those ones that gets like mothered in a way on the show by the other women because they feel like she hasn't had a hard enough life. And it's like, well, what's wrong with that? Like, why does everything have to be coming from somebody who had like, you know, I wouldn't even say like, I never want to say like my childhood was like a struggle or trauma, anything like that. Cause like I had a ton of cousins, a ton of like I wouldn't have known if we were struggling or not. Like that, there was so much like ridiculousness and fun in my like childhood that I wouldn't have known anyway. So it's so like, I don't know, the trauma Olympics, when people like make it a part of the personality, is so weird to me. Cause I'm like, well, I thought we were like fighting against this now, but obviously not. I feel like it's really hard to let go for some people.
Sai is like really trying to win that one. And it's true. Sai, no one's going to top you when it comes to some stuff. For sure. Like in this group, you do win that award, but Jessel can also have her experience as well. Jessel's like out of it though. Like that's what's funny. That's what makes her very Lisa Barlow-esque to me, because she's just like, she's so unaware. Like she's like, my dad didn't give me a dime. I mean, but yes, he paid for college. I'm like, okay. So it's like, you could just, I don't know why it's offensive, because she's not trying to say she's just like Sai, but Sai is pissed because Jessel's trying to say that she didn't have it easy, but it's like, oh, I had it harder. Well, no shit.
Right. Exactly.
She's still, when she said she only had $20 to her name, this part was funny though. She said she only has $20 to her name, and Sai goes, hello, I was homeless. I didn't have $20 to my name. I was negative $480. And Jessel's like, you were in overdraft?
Oh, God.
I was like, so she's clueless. Like, Brynn handled it the way she should have. Like, when Brynn hears the story from Aaron, she goes, oh my God, Jessel's so out of it. I love it.
Right.
It's like, that's how you should handle it. It's like, she's not trying to say that she had it worse than anyone here. She's just saying that for her, she struggled.
Right.
And I lived with my uncle for a period of time, and I would consider that my hardest years. Or my hardest months.
Yes.
You know, he lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was like not my happiest times. Like, sure,
right.
But he's not rich. And like, Aaron putting that on it was like, what are you mad at? You're mad that what? Your narrative of her isn't accurate?
She's always got to be mad about something. They keep saying that about her. And when the more these episodes go on, we see it every single time. Like, Aaron has to have a problem or nitpick with something. Doesn't matter what it is. She has to find the problem every time.
Jenna walks out, though, in the morning, and her robe flies open. For full
wide
puss.
Open.
Full puss.
Feeling easy, breezy, beautiful.
Oh, I feel so bad for her. She's so insecure about like her skin and her body, of all the people for that to happen to.
Can I say though, for like, I know like how she feels about like her body and her self-image and stuff. I don't know if it's a new confessional look or what, but like that black blazer with nothing on underneath with the hair, like I was like, okay, Jenna Lyons, like I don't know, like it screams like not sex, like what does it scream? Like I was about to say sex appeal, but like
sexy's right.
But it screams sex appeal. Like I hope she can like look back at these like scenes and stuff and be like, you know what, I look damn good right there. Like I ate that shit up, and I hope a lot of people tell her.
Yes.
She looks good.
She works when she does photo shoots. Like she is everything.
Yes.
To be clear. I thought it was a little shady of Uba to play the recording of Jessel snoring. I was like, damn. But Jessel's so easy to poke fun at. Like, it's too easy because then she also, like, doesn't want to admit she's snoring, even though they're listening. I will say it was hard for me to even hear. Like, I was like, that's not, it wasn't egregious. She had to put the phone, like, in the glass so that you could, like, amplified it, you know. But Jessel's like, she refuses. She's like, that was a one-off thing. She calls. She's like, it wasn't really a snore. It was more like heavy breathing. It's very elegant.
I do have a bit of a cold, you know.
I do. I'm a little stuffed up. That could explain things. It's like when you're gonna be like that, it's easy to poke fun at you. That's the problem. You know, you're a very easy target. Boat time. I love housewives on boats. It's always going to make me happy. So bring it. Absolutely.
Ooh, what? Let's pause for a second. What's your top of your head, just like rapid fire? What's your favorite like housewives boat moment? Do you have one?
Okay, it's hard for me to consider like the favorite because my memory's bad, so I'll forget one. But the first thing that comes to mind is the first Ultimate Girls Trip with Kenya.
Me too! That's what I was gonna say.
Shut up.
One of my all-time, like, you know how I feel about Kenya Moore. One of my all-time favorite lines, and where she said, "I don't know what you've heard about me, bitch, but everything is true." I said, "Yes, ma'am, yes, Kenya." And then she said it to Ramona. That just made
to Ramona, and to Ramona, and Ramona was like, "Oh my god, I'm so scared. Oh my god."
Jeez. That, and I do love. I think it's Atlanta season. I don't know if it's 8 or 9. Oh, it's 8 because Kim Fields there when they're all like dancing on the boat in their bikinis.
Oh, I love that one.
I do. I love that too. So yeah, a lot of good boat stuff. A lot of good boat stuff.
That's the same season that Cynthia kicks Portia, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think later on they go to either next season or the same season they go to Miami.
Yeah. Because Kim Fields brings snacks on.
Yes.
She has like trail mix. And I
think someone throws them overboard.
Portia's like, give me this. You stop it. Okay.
I love it.
Crying out loud. Uba threw Aaron in the pool, so now Aaron is on a mission to return the prank. Put a pin in that. We will get to it.
Yes.
This was stunning. On the boat, they got a sea turtle swimming around. Love.
Such clear water, too. I feel like we're so not used to that in America.
Stunning. It was gorgeous all around.
Yes.
They go swimming, and Jenna puts on a wetsuit to get in the water. And, of course, Sai has to make fun of her. And he's like, just put on a bikini. But Brynn is like, I'm sorry, but it's chic and sexy. And I agreed. Unlike
James Bond.
when fucking Heather on Orange County wore it and she looked like a whale trainer. And I'm sorry, that's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard.
Because it was very accurate.
My God. Like, who's that saying you look like a whale? I wouldn't even think of that, but I'm like, wow, that is spot the fuck on. Sorry to tell you. But while they're in the water, Jessel talks to Brynn about how Sai and Aaron were just coming for me last night. Thank you, Uba, for backing the fuck up Jessel, okay?
I feel like she's always being practical when no one else is, regardless of her friendship level with that person. She's always the one to be like, okay, let me step in as someone with common sense. Do you not feel like this? If this happened, that led to that cause and effect. And it's like, yeah, every single time. She's the only one that's willing to like not have a moment and instead just like actually be a voice of reason. And it's been that way like this entire trip. Like the first time was the dinner before where
you were on her side with the divorce comment?
Well, after seeing how many times she said it. But then I think I was on her side because the way she explained it, I was like, okay, I can see that she's saying that if you're looking at it from the point of the wife, she's hearing from her husband that you keep throwing around the divorce word. You can see how that might have, they were saying it like, no, you shouldn't be upset. And she's like, well, she's saying that upset her. So like, that's the thing. So I'm like, okay, I understand that. So I feel like she always defends like who she feels, because at that moment she was going against Jessel, but then in this moment she's defending Jessel. So I'm like,
good point.
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't matter to her who it is. She's just
right is right.
Yeah, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah, Because she's like, no matter what Jessel said, Cy and Aaron would not accept it as the truth. I'm like, I believe it.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And Jessel's in her confessional. She's like, why would I be ashamed to admit I'm wealthy? I would just be like, I'm fucking rich. And I believe it. Rich. I believe that. Right. And that's what I think is also crazy about Jessel is that she didn't come from money, but acts like someone who did because she's just like weird. She's just like a funny, silly little lady. And I love her. I love Jessel.
A lot of people, like when they finally get money after so long, I think there are like that fraction of people that like forget the struggle, quote unquote. And so they just like go right into like, well, I've got money now. I'm leaving that shit behind. And like, I don't want to acknowledge like, and remember that like struggle, that part of my life. So I'm okay living in the future. Thanks. Bye-bye.
And also Jessel, like I get in the grand scheme of things, did she really struggle? Not really. That's fine. Right. Like, yeah, she had to be an intern. She's like, and I was unpacking boxes for a year. They're like, that's not that big a deal. And then she's like, I had to live with my uncle. Not the worst thing. But like for Jessel in her exactly for her she's like it wasn't easy, okay, like it wasn't but she's definitely established herself. But like, why not just laugh at her ridiculousness? That's why when Jenna says to Aaron, like, why does this offend you so much? Like, I think that we can all realize that Jessel is ridiculous,
right? And
that's why she's funny,
right?
Why are you trying to like, what is your sorry, Aaron and Cy, that you can't be carefree and fun, but like that's what this looks like, okay?
Right. I'm having a good time.
I'm having a great time with this.
To quote the ancient African proverb, I said what I said.
Are you hoping to budget your food expenses this fall? Because I am too. Get more bang for your bite with America's Best Value Meal Kit. EveryPlate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping with no hidden fees, so you can count on great value week after week. Plus, you only pay for what you need with those pre-portioned ingredients. Choose EveryPlate over takeout any day. You can save money while still enjoying fresh, satisfying meals. Their meals are 50% cheaper than your average fast casual meal. They're the easiest way to eat affordably. Put the money you save towards something fun. Also, make the sustainable choice this September. EveryPlate offsets 100% of their delivery emissions, and their meals have a 31% lower carbon footprint on average than supermarket meals of the same portion. Plus, nearly all packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas in the US. Now, y'all know I have an addiction to delivery. So when I get my EveryPlate package, I feel like it scratches my delivery itch, but then I'm saving hundreds of dollars, truly. And the meals are delicious. You never get sick of it. There's 26 tasty and affordable recipes that change every week, so it's easy to find something you want. Plus, they've got 22 convenient sides, lunches, snacks, dessert. Get started with EveryPlate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49SheSpeaks. So head to everyplate.com/podcast and enter code 49SheSpeaks to get started with EveryPlate for just $1.49 a meal. That's up to $110 value.
What is this, honey?
A lot of you know my dad has recently moved here from Florida, and this man has been on the hunt for his new set of doctors here in California. And he has been asking people for recommendations. And I'm sorry, that's not reliable, because after weeks of searching, you finally get someone and they're not on your network. They're not covered by your insurance. So it's like, Dad, use ZocDoc. You can find and book the doctor who is right for you and takes your insurance. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you're searching for. The average wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between 24 and 48 hours. That's it. You can even score same-day appointments. Once you find the doctor that you want, you can book them immediately with just a few taps. No more waiting awkwardly on hold with a kind of rude receptionist. I use ZocDoc. My dad uses ZocDoc. And you should too. Go to ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks. ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks.
I love that.
Brynn is coming on strong with Jenna, and I'm kind of loving it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, Jenna, I'm slamming pineapple juice for us. The magic happens tonight, Jenna.
I'll say
She's
I like it way more with her and Jenna because I feel like Jenna is like 1000% open and receptive to this. But like I hate it when she does it to like the random like people around, like the boat driver, the trainer, the chefs and stuff like that. Because I'm like, oh, like the guys don't always look comfortable with it. So I'm like,
Kendrick and I are on the same page when it comes to that kind of stuff. We don't they still have not acknowledged that on the second Ultimate Girls trip, that butler guy
snatching
was
his shirt
totally
open.
Sexually assaulted.
Yes. Yes.
Like you ripped his clothes off, and he said in his own stories on Instagram later, like, no, I was not comfortable with that. I absolutely did not like that. I'm like, bravo. Anything? Nothing?
Right.
Okay.
Nothing.
Ever. Bryn's, but she's funny though. I'm sorry, Bryn's cute. She's like, I'm old fashioned, so I would take her name. So Brynn Lyons. She's like, oh my God, I can see it. Like on the credit cards, on the bank statements, on the deed. She's hard to keep up with. Brynn is always like, she's just content. So
yeah,
it's hard to stay mad at her. Since last week we were dragging her a little bit.
I know.
Brynn, I have it in my notes too. Oh my God, that's so funny. Brynn then asked the boat captain to squirt it in her mouth a little, and I wrote, oh, she's like the Sonia with the flirting.
Yes.
But not half as horrible, but still, like it's like that scratches that itch for you if you had it.
Yes.
Because Sonia would always do that shit.
There were a couple things I feel like in this episode in particular, there were like callbacks to the old RHONY, like her eating the food in the bed, like reminded me of like Tinsley falling asleep with the plate.
Oh yes,
like that. And something else like gave me a flashback, and I was like, "Whoa, what is happening?" And I felt like I was back there for a minute. Didn't like that, but we're in a new era, so
we're in a new era.
Let it slide. We'll let it slide.
Didn't like that. Wasn't loving it. Don't like being here. Not happy about it. Jessel called the captain the pilot, but then she changes it to, she's like the pilot or the captain, and they have to, they all like get on her like, okay, really, Jessel? And then when she says she'll go drive the boat, stupid Erin's confessional, she's like, she should not be operating heavy machinery when she doesn't even know the name of the person that drives the boat. And then she tries to laugh. I'm like, that's not funny. You're not funny.
It's wild that she's around my age. I would have never guessed that.
She's younger than me. And that is always weird to me when that happens.
That's wild to me.
You know something else that's interesting? The a lot of the cast of Vanderpump Rules, like Ariana, Sheena, they're older than her.
Right. That's so weird.
She reads so old.
She does read
and she's
old.
Gorgeous. Like, she is beautiful. She is a pretty woman. I'm not trying to say she looks old, but her energy is like...
That's what it is.
48,
it's always
49.
There's a woman, we always talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville on the show, but they have a cast member named Tiffany, and I would have sworn that like she was getting ready for a grandbaby sometimes. Like I would have like sworn, but like she doesn't look like it, but like her energy always gives me that. And then when she said like she was 32, and I was like,
jarring.
Whoa. No, I don't believe that for a second, first of all.
Yeah.
Fact checked it. It was true. Wow.
Yeah, weird, right?
Just had another baby, too. I was like, oh, well, I thought that was the grandbaby, but okay.
Yeah, Erin's age is so baffling.
Yeah.
It just doesn't quite match up.
It doesn't compute, no.
It does not compute. But Jessel, as she's walking over to steer the ship, because she's that quick, she goes, can you bitches swim is all I'm going to ask. Erin, you could never come up with something that fast, okay?
No.
Brynn wastes no time telling Sai and Erin what Jessel had said while they were in the water. Jessel returns, and this back and forth, this conversation was like, I thought Jessel handled business proper. Okay. But the
Yeah.
other two made asses of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sai's like, it's never a simple answer with you, Jessel. And Jessel, did you get help or did you not? The math is not mathing.
But why does it
why
matter?
are you doing math?
Right. It doesn't matter though. Like my thing is, in what sense of like, why do you need to know whether she struggled or not in order to be able to connect with her? Like that's always been weird. Like I remember I had an issue with it really big on Beverly Hills. There was an episode where like they hounded Garcelle like they were on a trip. And they were like, oh, we really needed to hear that from you. Now you're so vulnerable. Like she's talking about like the most traumatic stuff in her life. They're like, now we feel so connected to you. It feels so, you're so vulnerable. I'm like, why the fuck does someone have to like relive all these traumatic experiences just to simply connect with someone? If you want to connect with me, let's go on a fucking walk through the park. I don't need to connect with you by like relaying my like police reports to you. Like, stop it. So stupid.
Yeah. And Jessel said her dad paid for college.
Right.
So she already said that. And then Uba steps up and reminds them Jessel did say, she did say that she wouldn't have been able to move to New York if her uncle hadn't helped her. And I'm like, so now what?
Right.
Now what you got, guys? And Aaron's like, you're constantly trying to say that your life is so hard. Jessel's like, I'm not constantly trying to say that, but you are. Oh, okay. Jessel goes, but that's what my reality is. And Aaron goes, no, it's not. How do you tell someone what their reality is?
Wild. The audacity.
She's so convinced she's right. Jessel's like, I'm not comparing myself to Bryn or Sai. And Aaron goes, you are. You had a perfectly fine life.
Like,
Someone backhand her. Someone backhand
right.
her right now. That is so fucked up to say.
God, I all of them are so I can't. Like, how do you tell someone about their life?
Their life.
Like,
you had a perfectly fine life. Well,
a life that you won't let them talk about. Right.
I hate it. I hate it. And Aaron goes, your life was so incredibly hard when you lived with your rich uncle. Jess was like, I said I live with my uncle. Did I say he was incredibly rich? That's right, bitch. Right. You tell her that. Aaron's like, oh my God. And Jessel, okay, as much as it's not the biggest insult, I didn't, okay, she goes, your name should be the Queen of Assumption. And Aaron goes, good one.
It should be, though, because you're always assuming.
You are assuming everything. And Jenna,
she should have threw something in there about making an ass out of yourself. That would have made it better.
There you go. Jenna's like, why does it bother you? And Erin's so crazy. She's like nuts. She goes, because it's so inauthentic. Nothing about this is inauthentic to me. It's not like this is absurd. This is absurd.
Especially since like it's wild because we get kind of a different perspective, obviously, than they do. Because like we've seen like her and her mom, like opening up about like the surrogacy and like IVF and all this.
Yeah, totally.
But then like Erin, the other episode was just questioning Bryn about trying to go on the same journey and stuff. So I'm like, it's just like kind of a fan parallel, like seeing all this play out, and it's like, okay. It seems like nothing's gonna fucking please you. So can we just like move past it and you just accept me for who I am? Because like I'm not gonna bend over backwards every time we're together to get Erin's approval.
And like, who made you guys, you and Sai, who made you guys the authority on authenticity?
Exactly.
Like, I don't need your opinion, actually. How about I don't think you're being all that authentic? How about that?
Bloop.
How about that? Jessel fucking... I wish she had said this in the scene, but she mic dropped this. She says, it just seems like Erin is projecting her privilege onto me. And that's exactly what she's doing. It's just so we're clear. Okay. She's literally projecting her own privilege, which clearly she comes from money.
Right.
Okay.
She can't relate to them in that way, so she's going to relate to them by throwing Jessel under the bus and being like, oh, she's trying so hard to relate to you guys, and when she really can. So that's her way in.
That's what it is.
I'm
writing that down. That's what it, right there, I'm writing it down, Kendrick. Line, I'm going to use that as the clip. Because honestly, that's exactly what it is. She's like, oh, no, that's not fair. I want to be like Erin and Sai. I want to be like Bryn and Sai. Oh, man, Jessel's not really like you guys.
Exactly.
I don't think Jessel's trying to be like anybody.
it's classic like mean girl behavior when you can't fit in order to fit in with the mean girls. You can't necessarily, they don't like you for who you are. So instead you gotta hate the same people they hate and be just as good at talking about them and belittling them as they are in order to fit in with them. Typical like high school mean girl behavior.
Mm-hmm. And then
you, bitch.
when Sai gets so mad that she has to scream and yell, I'm like, well, that doesn't even seem necessary. She's like, that's why we ask. We don't know you. But you're telling us about your parents coming from Kenya. And Jessel's like, isn't that not part of my story? We want to know about you. Oh, okay. Well, she'll get there. She's also told you that she's had intimacy issues with her husband, that her family doesn't know about the IVF journey. Like, she's talked about her life as well. Like, fuck her for sharing. God.
They're mad because she did it while she wasn't struggling like they were. And that's just what it is. It seems like in order for like the background to be accepted, it has to be like rooted in either some kind of struggle, some kind of trauma or something like that. They don't like where the struggle is like what they call rich people problems, like being able to afford IVF because you are like having trouble conceiving and stuff like that. And that's like, you don't know what keeps people up at night. So like you can't do that kind of stuff and make them feel lesser than, because I always say like there are those people that I hate. The people that no matter what your problem is in life, they've always got one way to one up you with theirs. It's like, oh my God, I got in a car wreck this morning. Yes, it's like I got in a car wreck this morning. They're like, oh my God, me too. And then I got in an Uber to come to work, and I got in a car wreck in that one too. And it's like, okay, you win. You got in 2 car accidents this morning. Sorry, let me call it off. Okay.
That's what Larsa was doing on Miami. Larsa was doing that
always.
She's always like, oh yeah, and I really struggle with that too. I'm like, no, you didn't. Shut up.
At all. No. I missed them.
Now it's dinner. I know, right? Me too. Now it is dinner time, and Bryn comes up with the idea to go around and say embarrassing stories. So Bryn tells this story about putting a tampon up her butt, and I was right there with Jenna. That almost is impossible. Like, if you're not accustomed to things going up those holes, it would be so painful to stick a tampon that is absorbent up your asshole.
Yeah.
So I don't buy this one.
No.
And so I'm bummed out because I feel like Bryn, probably from being a bit ashamed of being poor and having to fit in, she probably has developed a bad habit of lying to try to make herself feel connected. And I can relate to that. When I was younger, I used to lie about dumb shit because I was so insecure. And I can relate to that. But this story definitely wasn't.
It feels like every time, you know, those people that always come with the party story.
Yes.
Like a story to pull out. Like, oh,
yes.
Let me tell you about this one time, because they get the group of people around them at the party. That's what she feels like a lot of the time when she's talking about something. Like the thing from last episode, like, they said I need to go through my phone and pick out a father, all this kind of stuff. And it was like, like, even though I wouldn't have said it, Aaron's the one that kind of calls you on. It's like, all right, Aaron. But like Bryn does that. So I think she has a habit of that, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm not sure what to believe anymore, but
yeah, but I bet it's developed from her feeling inferior due to the way she was raised and that kind of shit. So
yeah.
But then Jessel tells a hilarious story about falling into the grotto, and I just you could just see Jessel doing it. And then Jenna and Uba tell their funny stories. But oh wait, I'm sorry. Before I get into that part, this is when Jessel tells her story. They cut to one of Sai's confessionals, and it pissed me off because she's like, "This is the Jessel we know and love. This is her being authentic." I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't need you to comment on how everyone should be expressing themselves. Okay, lady. She's like the authority on every single person. Like, who made you the lead? You are not leading lady energy. I will tell you that right now. Sai.
Especially since they got her in the bleachers at the reunion, so
exactly.
in the nosebleeds. So, girl, keep it cute.
You're the extra bitchy chick in the High School movie.
Yeah. Not the girl that's like trying to get the makeover for prom. Like, no, you're one of the ones that made the bet about it.
You're Gretchen.
Get over it.
You're Gretchen
Yes.
from Mean Girls, okay? And that's the worst one to be.
Like, you're not even Karen. Oh.
You're not even Karen, okay? I need to watch that movie again. I haven't seen it in like
right?
2 whole months.
I know. That's one of the ones like when it's on TBS, you're like, oh, Mean Girls. Let me stop and watch this. Like,
yes. Okay. There's so many
that and
problematic
Legally
jokes
Blonde.
Oh, Legally Blonde.
Every time it's on, I cannot help it. Every time it's on, I stop and watch. I'm like, oh, L. Oh.
God, that movie is like old now. Jesus. Right? I just thought of like how old I was when I saw that movie, and I'm like, well, I mustn't okay, that was a while ago.
It's sad. I try not to think about things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not think about our age. I also just lie about my age whenever new people come around. I'm like, I'm 29. Turning
there
30.
You go. Have you haven't seen that new Jennifer Lawrence movie, have you? When she's like, they're asking her like, so how old are you? She's like, oh, I was 29 last year. I'm like, okay, well, how old are you right now? Like 1 year older. She's like, so you're 30? 33.
That is me.
Right.
That is me describing my age. But Erin's embarrassing story.
Girl.
She should have been fired right there. They should have said, we renege your contract. You're out of the contract. Get off the cast. What the fuck? She goes, the last time I was after, and by the way, she went last. Okay. So like she already heard the vibe of everyone else. Sai told a story about it. She told us about shitting on herself. Sai did. Like, and you're about to tell them that you were on a flight and Elijah could not stop crying?
Like, welcome to adulthood. Every child ever on a plane. Like, what do you mean?
That just says so much, too. Like, if that is traumatizingly embarrassing for her, okay, well then, no wonder.
Girl.
Like, that's not embarrassing. That's a kid. A kid.
Right.
Like, you don't have anything from high school, nothing? Okay, well, that says everything we needed to know about you. Okay?
Shut up! That is so stupid!
Support for today's episode comes from Waterboy. Now, you guys know by now, I don't drink alcohol. And the main reason for that, the hangovers. I couldn't handle them anymore. But when Waterboy was presented to me, I did a little research and found that they don't just worry about hydration. They also have ingredients in there that help with nausea, anxiety, and fatigue. And there's 0 sugar. And there's 3 times the electrolytes to liquid IV. So we all know that hydration alone isn't going to handle your Vegas bender. So for a limited time, our listeners get 15% off your entire order with the code She Speaks at waterboy.com. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how do you know this product's any good? Well, my sister and her husband love to throw a party or two. So I hooked them up with the Waterboy hydration packs. She won't let me share the picture that she sent me the next morning after they threw a party, but they gave the 2 thumbs up. They were able to start running errands on a Sunday like nothing happened the night before. So there's your endorsement. They love those White Claws. They love those spritzers. Is that what they're called? The seltzers and the cans. Those cause hangovers. And I've seen them out for days, but they were up and moving thanks to Waterboy. So most hydration packs are packed so full of sugar that they cause you to crash even harder. Not to mention you have to drink so many of them to get the electrolyte replenishment that your body really needs to recover. Waterboy has over 9 times the electrolytes as a Gatorade. Okay. Inside each stick, there's ginger for that nausea and to make your tummy feel better. They also include L-theanine, which helps calm your nerves and reduces your anxiety. That was the worst part for me. Their scientifically backed formula truly brings you back from the dead. And the best part, my sister and brother-in-law said that it tastes really good too. And their most popular flavors are strawberry lemonade, lemon lime, and blue raspberry. You're going to actually want to drink these. Waterboy is gluten-free, caffeine-free, dairy-free, vegan, and made right here in the US of A. A lot of things get worse as you get older, but your hangovers don't have to. Waterboy isn't a magic cure, but it's pretty damn close to one. Hundreds of thousands of people already trust Waterboy as their hangover cure. It's time to stop dealing with the anxiety alone. For a limited time, my listeners get an exclusive 15% off discount when they use the code She Speaks at waterboy.com. That's 15% off with code She Speaks at waterboy.com. Waterboy has got you recovered.
Not well, bitch.
Quitting a habit is not easy, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your crazy neighbor. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume, and they look at the problem in a different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative, award-winning device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, which gives your fingers a lot to do, which is also really helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while you're breaking your habit. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and it's even fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com and use code SheSpeaks to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code SheSpeaks to save an additional 10% off your order today.
Enough!
They get back to the villa and Uba leaves her phone in the car, which Aaron takes, and now it's like, I would never ever take someone's phone as a prank because I know how I am with my phone. It's too much. It's like my house. It's like, this is where I live. Okay. If I knew someone had it and wasn't giving it to me, I'd be like, this isn't a prank.
Right. Where the fuck is my phone?
That's not a prank. A prank is like throwing someone in the pool, but a prank is not. Yeah, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. And Erin can't even throw Uba in the pool. Like she tries to, and then Uba becomes like a tree, like planted into the ground, like unmovable. And Erin's like, just get in the pool. I'm like, this isn't, you can't even do this right.
No.
So then Sai has to do a sneak attack, and then that works. The next morning, They're even. The next morning, Uba comes down, complains to Sai about Erin having her phone. And she has no idea that Sai was fully abreast on the whole situation. And when she discovers that Sai was, she just goes silent. She goes, "You knew?" and just walks away. That's the last you'll hear from her. She shall not speak to you again. Like when she walks into that kitchen and Sai, Erin, and Bryn are sitting there and she doesn't say a word except when Bryn's like, "Hi," and she goes, "Hello, hello."
That was very like Tiffany Pollard, like, hello, 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 hello.
You can choke.
Not you. You can choke.
Erin's like, "It feels very mean. It feels really mean." Well, how about this? If she didn't find it fucking funny, why don't you go over to her like later once, you've done eating, but instead she doesn't even go try to connect with her. Like I would have been like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought it would be funny, but like, I get why, like I'd freak out." But instead she's like, What? Even Sai tries to tell her, like Sai goes into her room later and she's like, "She is pissed at you. I'd be mad at you too." And she's like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, I mean, it's my phone." And she's like, "Whatever, it was a joke. It was a prank." Whatever.
It's not lost on me that she can like stand in the fact that no, this is a joke. She should be laughing. It's funny, but she could not get over Bryn joking with her husband at the engagement party. So it's like, okay, so when you do it's what they say. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Okay, Erin. Okay,
we get it. We see. We see you.
We see each other.
Jessel comes down and she tells them that Uba did not find that funny.
Ubi,
that was cute, right? Ubi's her nickname
name
now.
for Ubi.
Hey, Ubi. That's a kid's name. That's my child's name is Ubi.
Ubi.
But Erin can't stand that Jessel is like, that wasn't funny. She's like, what the fuck, Jessel? Were you there? It's like, she's like, I sent this emoji going like, And I don't think I would have figured out that I would have been like, oh shit, I left my phone at the restaurant. Oh no, I wouldn't have known that's what that meant.
That would have made me think, okay, let me think about where you left your phone.
Yeah,
like, where was the last place you left it or something? Like, I would have been thinking, like, she's trying to help. And, like, that's what I would have gotten from it. I wouldn't have picked up that, like, okay, she has my phone.
Yes.
You would have had to, like, keep doing something for me to, like, to know that. So, Aaron, you're just not good at this. I don't know.
No, not good at this. Brynn brings Jenna breakfast, and it is a terrifying breakfast.
It is.
Banana wrapped in bacon. And I was like, could that be good? I don't know if you could even bite into it.
I don't,
like,
right.
if you bit through it would just smush the banana.
I don't think I like that.
What are we supposed to do with that?
That's right. I'm like, no.
I get maybe wanting to like sweet and savory it, but not like that. That's not working. That's not working. And then Valentine's chocolates or something like nope. Never mind.
No.
Jenna's no longer interested. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
Jenna's like, and you're off. Erin talks to Brynn as she gets ready, and she's like, look, Uba took a chance throwing me in the pool. Now, mind you, that is kind of true. It is. Yeah. Sure, she did. It's just, that's a little different risk than taking, I don't know, taking someone's phone is just on a prank.
Right.
There's something pranky about it. It's like, oh, because she left her phone in the car. So that's why it's like not a prank.
Right.
You know, and in fact, what I would have maybe done if I wanted to prank her, like be a part of it, would have been like, Uba, where's your phone? And then been like
hey,
what?
Uba, can you call my phone or something like, you know?
And like right away, like I found it, like I have, now you can't, now I can't, now we're even. I don't know, just not that.
Right.
What were you like holding her phone like next to you?
Being like out of the country like adds a little level to it because I feel like that kind of, I could imagine being out of the phone and like, out of the country and losing my phone. Like,
oh my
God.
That
would be like, that would feel like a
true nightmare.
Be like, holy crap, like what is going on? So
yeah,
I feel like there are a lot of layers to it.
I need to harp on what was the prank that you just had her phone?
Right. Because that was not it. Like, I thought you were going to try to get her back in the pool and that's it. Like,
I thought maybe, and if you're going to use the phone, maybe like call someone from Uba's phone that's there.
Yeah.
And they're like, Uba, why are you calling me? And like, so you literally just had her phone next to you until she came looking for it?
This is like on a scale of 1 to 10. This is like a 1 in terms of pranks. Like, no.
Totally.
Get better.
Not a prank. Does not count at all. And then being like, oh, why are you so upset about it?
Right.
It's like, prank gone wrong, okay? It's just stupid. But I like Jessel talking to Uba, and she's like, she loves that Erin's in trouble. Because she's like, Erin is shaking in her boots, I bet. Who says shaking in her boots? Like, seriously. She's so silly. She's so stupid. They all gather to leave, and Erin looks genuinely terrified. Uba's not looking at her, won't even, like, look towards her, and Erin's, like, up against a wall, like, I'm so freaked out. And so I thought she would lay low, but instead she goes to the bathroom, and when she comes back, she hears Uba, and all Uba is saying is, Erin was just here.
Right.
And now Erin thinks it's a good time to get loud. And she's like, I hear you saying my name. Don't say my name when I'm not around. I'm like, not abort.
Right.
Abort immediately.
Especially if you can follow. It's one thing if you got all this energy and you can follow through with it. But if you're going to cower the moment she gets back in your face, don't come up to her with the energy. That was your first mistake. They always say on reality TV, if you can't fight, don't pick one. And that's exactly what you did. You sat there, you used all these buzzwords. Oh my gosh, she's so scary. I'm so intimidated. I'm frightened for my life. All this stuff about Uba, who literally has her back turned to you talking to someone else as if there's like some weird reaction, and then goes off and then comes back and tries to pick a fight, and now you got your shit snatched. So what's up?
It's like you literally came in and said, don't say my name. I don't like, whoa, that was not the energy I expected you to have.
Right.
You know, and then Uba tries to explain, like, no, I was saying, and Erin goes, I don't care what you're saying about me right now. Don't say my name. Yeah, all right. Uba's gonna step up in your fucking face. Because this is what's cool about having such a diverse cast. Cultures are different. So
yes.
Uba was able to bring an energy that Erin has never fucked with in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was interested to see how she couldn't handle it. I know people
Of course, the tears were getting ready to come.
I know people were upset about Uba snatching the sunglasses.
I wasn't.
I wasn't either.
I was not at all. I loved it.
Because she's like, don't say my name. Don't say my whatever. And Uba's like in her face. And then she's like, take your fucking glasses off if you're going to fucking talk to me like this.
Right.
And then she's like,
if you got all this courage, look me in my fucking eye. That's what
try
you need
that.
To do. Yeah.
And then she's like, give me my sunglasses back. And then, did you really just say that? You know what she's about to fucking say. And the way Uba goes, you had my phone. Like, she gets, you had my fucking phone. Like, you asked for this, Erin. I'm so sorry. But you walked in like, don't say my name. Oh, your fault. I'm mad at you now. Your fault. And then next week she's going to be like, I'm so intimidated.
Bringing out the tears.
It's different in real life, I'm sure. But if you hadn't come in hot like that, it wouldn't have happened. Because she was already mad at you.
Uba did nothing, in my opinion, did nothing wrong in the scenario. She literally did not, she was mad, but she didn't engage with her at all, which she does not have to do. She sat there and was talking to an entirely different person. When they were questioning your whereabouts, she said she was just right here. What about that set you off? I don't know. But if you don't know all the facts and you're not ready to swing when you get there, you better bring it on down a notch. Bring it on down, in the words of Candy Burris with the red hair. Bring it on down a notch. How about that?
Erin keeps telling her to get away from me. And then Uba finally goes, try. And I was like, but Uba had her hands behind her back. That, you know, that was on purpose.
Smart move. Yes. Smart move.
Because you cannot say that I'm not getting, and actually I'm over here. Like, now she's like, I got a distance between us. What?
She knew, to me, this felt like she knew what Erin was going to try to do later. And being like, oh, she had her hands in my face. Or, oh, she was touching me and all this kind of stuff. It was what Marlo did when her and Candy got into the argument, when she said that they keep saying that I'm being aggressive, that I put my hands in my face, and I'm touching, when I'm touching all these people. So Marlo purposely put her hands behind her back and clutched them so nobody could say that. I'm like, okay, smart move.
Oh, I was like, Uba knew exactly what to do. She's like, because she's like, yes, I snatched those sunglasses, but I'm now not going to touch you at all. I'm going to show physically that my hands are behind my back. Yeah. I mean, they're going to get over it, clearly, because they are all fine now, pretty much, for the most part. It's always just tough when they go back and rewatch it, but I'm very, very, very curious to see. Although, hold on. Erin was on Watch What Happens Live last night with Karamo.
Yes, I watched.
Erin was like, she's not even a good villain, because she's like so timid and like kind of victim-y. The whole time, right? Was that the vibe you got too?
Absolutely. You need to lean the hell in. Like, if you're if you want to play this role on the show, which it seems like you do, you need to lean in. You need to get better at it.
Then
your answers need to get something.
She kind of, in my opinion, Karamo gave her one of her answers, because Andy was like, what do you say to people who are like saying you're always, stirring up stuff? And she was like, I don't mean to, but then Karamo helps her out and is like, you're messy, you're making a show, whatever. And then she's like, yeah, I mean, we're making a show. I'm like, that wasn't what you were going to say.
Right. Like, you don't care about it, but now all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're making a show. I'm trying to be a good villain.
No,
like,
and then she couldn't lean into it enough. So I was like, no, you're not even a good villain. Like,
right.
At least Tamra Judge goes on Watch What Happens Live, and she's like, I don't fucking care what they say about me. Like, as much as she drives me crazy, it's like you can't argue with that. But like, Erin,
there's so many she can learn from. Maybe it's season 1. I'll give it to her. Maybe she'll lean into it at some point. But there are so many people that always say, you got to be yourself. You have to be yourself, one. But it doesn't hurt to learn from the other people that have come before you. If you want to do this, like this is the lane you want to be in, you've got a lot of examples of how you need to handle a Watch What Happens Live, a Wendy Williams, a View. Like you know how to like to do the shade game, to do this, to like take the blame off of you and put it elsewhere. Like you should know how to do this. Maybe it's good. I'll hand it to you first season. Maybe you're too new, but there are some things you got to learn.
There are some things.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right.
Next week looks like it's going to be good, too.
I was going to say, next week looks insane.
I'll be at the Beyonce concert when it's on, but I'll watch when I get back to the hotel.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. Maybe I'll just come out to Texas and just do it.
I'll have a big bed. You can stay with me. It's okay. We'll find you an outfit. Like it's no problem.
I would never, ever share a bed with you. I would never do that to either of us. I would never. I can't share a bed with a human being.
I know.
I've tried.
That's
I've
my
tried.
problem. I know.
Even in my
neither.
long-term relationships, I'm like, I genuinely hate this. Like, I
know.
really.
Me too.
Hate it.
That's why I'm like Bren. I'm like, this is probably why I'm not married, because I'm like, no, I can't do this.
Give me like a conjugal visit situation. Like you have your room, I have mine. We meet somewhere, we fuck a little bit, and then you go back to your room.
Exactly. You see, like I'll do one better. I love when I read the stories about people, and it's like they live like close by, but like in two separate houses, but they're married, and they're like no, this works. It's so great because like we see each other every day.
Sounds perfect to me.
Exactly. We have our own space, and I'm like, that sounds amazing. I would consider marriage then.
I'm telling you, I have lived with someone, and like, you know, I don't really need to see all of the living stuff that people do. I don't need that information. Right. You can spend the night sometimes, but again, on the couch. Do not lay in my damn bed. I need to like spread out. I need to like even having my cats on my bed sometimes. I'm like, okay, now we're pushing it.
Oh, Socks absolutely cannot sleep with me. Like she's learned this lesson now because like Socks already is what we call like a codependent dog. Like she cannot like be by herself anywhere. So like if I go to the bathroom, she's getting up to come to the bathroom. When I come back to the couch, she's with me. I go to the mailbox, she's at the door. Like, why am I not out here with you? Like she has to be next to me all the time. So when we're in bed, she literally like is against my back to where like I'm laid, like I'm literally arched up like this, and I'm like, okay, I've never been so uncomfortable. And I'm like, we can't do this anymore. Because I'll always say like, okay, I'll put like a blanket down at the end of the bed. I'm like, always. Okay, here's your space. You can stay here. But as soon as I fall asleep, she waits and she just like inches up closer and she gets right next to me. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't.
My sister, she had a camera in her bedroom because they were like, they just needed to see the progress because there's one of their dogs, Rex. He's a big dog, but he of course thinks he's a puppy. That's how they always are, right? And he's kind of like a big like walrus when he gets into the bed. Like it's just like you can't like get it. So
not graceful. Yeah.
So she saw like so they always would put Rex at the like off the bed, like at the foot of the bed, but like on the ground, like stay there. And so anytime they'd fall asleep, they'd wake up, and sure enough, Rex would be like on top of them, in the middle of them,
nose to nose.
She put a camera, and it's so cute watching Rex like check that they're sleeping, and then like it's so calculated, like slowly trying not to wake them up, and then gets in position. I'm like, okay, you got to give him credit. That is like, it's just
every
effort.
time.
It's so cute though. My entire as Kendrick said, my entire Instagram feed is all dog videos. Yeah. Like I'm really not complaining about it. Honestly, like there could be worse things I could be getting targeted with.
Yeah.
So it's a nice like break. It's just constant dog content. So I should get a dog. I never know what I'm going to get.
You should get a dog.
I should get a dog. I know, right? I should get a dog. My cats would hate it though.
I will tell you though, you've got a sweet situation because cats are not needy in the slightest.
Oh, tell me.
A dog is going to want your constant attention.
Yes. That's why I kind of love, because like I'm a cat. Like I don't I like all that stuff very much me, and so they're so independent. It's kind of flawless. And when if I have to like go out of town, I don't have to really worry about it too much because it's like just, you know, scoop the litter for me and make sure there's food. But with a dog, it's so different. Oh my God, do you hate leaving Socks? You go out of town a lot. Does Socks hate you? Oh my God.
I know, it's a mess. So like I usually always have someone either mom will come here and just like stay here, or you know, my sister considers herself the mom, so like she will like just either come get her or she'll stay here. Like it's always
okay, good.
So she's always having fun.
Okay, good. So she's got like okay, good. That's fine. See, so my sister and brother-in-law were lucky when I lived there because like I wasn't the roommate that was like, oh, you have dogs? Like, I was like, they're my dogs. Like, they're our dogs.
Right.
You know? So when I moved out, they're like, wow, we really underestimated how much you took care of the dogs. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Like, whenever they would leave, I would be like talking to them about their feelings. I'm like, are you sad that your mom and dad left? You want to talk about it?
Right.
I'm so convinced animals are like, they need therapy. I'm like, we need to go to therapy. Let's talk about, yeah. Wow, this was a fun dog tangent.
I know.
I don't know.
Wait,
sorry, guys. We just didn't want to wrap up yet. We weren't done. We weren't done. We're so used to having Atlanta to talk about, too, that we're like, that's it?
Right. Only, an hour and, less than an hour and 10?
Ooh.
That's wild.
Well, okay. On that note, guys, don't forget, you got to follow Reality Comics 2 on Instagram. And then make sure to check out his podcast, Reality and Comics 2. All right, guys. Love you. Mean it. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to She Speaks Bravo with Emily Hanks. If you haven't already, would you mind leaving a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you listen? That would be amazing. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell so you don't miss an episode. And if you're looking for more content, more exclusive bonus content, check out the Patreon. I post 2 exclusive episodes a month, and I'm covering just the Bravo jams, like classic RHONY, Atlanta, and of course Vanderpump Rules. If you just want to support the show, head to buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo and buy me a coffee, or 2, or 5. We also have merch available at SheSpeaksBravo.com. And if you're interested in hearing my takes on non-Bravo shows, check out my new podcast, She Speaks It All. I cover The Challenge, Drag Race, and any other show I'm obsessed with that's not Bravo. She Speaks It All is available everywhere you get your podcasts, just like this show. Make sure you're following me on the social medias. I am She Speaks Bravo across all platforms. Thank you so much for any support you give the show, even if it's just listening. I appreciate you, love you, mean it. I'll see you soon.